Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk, where we give it to you straight with no chaser. I am your host, the People's Champ, Christopher Platt. And as always, we are broadcasting live this evening from the Platt Cave. Hope everybody out there is doing well. As it is prone to happen, I had an entirely different show planned and mapped out for everybody tonight. I really wanted to double down on last week's show. I thought it was very powerful, and the information that I was giving you was very powerful, so I wanted to double down on that. And perhaps we can get back to that a little bit later. However, I felt as if I had to touch on the proceedings today. And full disclosure, I know that normally we have a very conversational vibe, and for the most part it comes across as if I'm coming completely off the cusp. I like to think that that's part of the charm of the show. However, normally I at least have, at the very least, a rough outline. Normally I'll have at least a rough outline of some things that I want to touch on, some things I want to discuss, and some things that I want to make sure that I say to you all. On tonight's broadcast, however, that is not the case. We're going to talk a little bit about the incident that happened today, and I really don't have much in the way of an outline. I'm just going to speak to you guys tonight straight from the heart. So this can either be very compelling, or it can turn into an absolute train wreck. Either way, at least for you, the viewer, it should be fairly entertaining, I hope. So we're going to get to that here shortly. If you are new to the broadcast, let's get a few of the housekeeping notes out the way. If you are new to the broadcast, there's a couple of ways that you can go about doing this. You can log on through the social media stream of your choice, Facebook, Twitter, etc., or you can actually log on through the actual Ustream site itself. Now, that will require that you create a username as well as a password so you can log in and on and off. But either way, once you do one of those two things, the most important thing is that now I will be able to see your questions and your comments, because I want to make this as interactive as possible, because quite frankly, that's why I am here. So before we get started, I just want to spend a special birthday shout out to my nephew, Justin Platt. Happy birthday, brother. And I suppose without further ado, pardon me, we'll get started. So by now, I'm sure all of you heard about the incident that happened in Virginia today. I quite literally woke up to that news. I woke up about 7 o'clock this morning, and I woke up to this news. Now, for those of you that are living under a rock, I don't know all the specifics, so perhaps you all out there, you can kind of fill in the specifics for me. But there was an incident this morning in Virginia, I don't even know what city, where there was a gentleman who formerly worked for that particular newscast. It was Virginia, correct? He worked for that particular newscast, and while they were on the air, he came in and he shot both a reporter as well as a cameraman. And I think he's been identified as, his last name's Hannigan? Oh, Flanagan. I beg your pardon. Like Verser Flanagan. I don't know. Some shit like that. I can't remember. Something like that. And again, he shot and killed both the reporter as well as the cameraman during a live broadcast. Now, I believe that the actual broadcast cut before they showed the actual murder, but I believe that he posted the murder on his Facebook as well as his Twitter before they were removed. But I'm sure if you really have a perverse spirit and want to see that, I'm sure you can find it. I'm sure you can find it. That shouldn't be too hard. And I saw that the gentleman that committed this atrocity was black, and that the two victims were white. So first and foremost, I would like to send my condolences out to the families of both victims, as we're prone to do here on this platform. May God be with them all through this trying time. So we had to get that out the way. Now, I haven't really been paying attention to the media today. I purposely kind of avoided the media because I kind of knew where that was gonna head. And B, I just been busy all day as well, so I really haven't had time either. But I knew where this was gonna go. And I understand that everybody has an agenda. So what that means is that they're going to look upon this story, they're going to view this story through the lens of whatever it is that their agenda may be. So you're probably going to have the left talking about this and calling for stricter gun control. You're going to have the white supremacists talking about how this proves that blacks are prone to violence and how black lives really don't matter, or how can we argue that black lives matter when we're going around doing this type of thing. You're probably going to you might have the feminists talking about, women's rights and women's lives and things of that nature. You may even have a few blacks out here talking about how it was justified. He was justified in his feelings, because I saw that he said that he filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against the television station. And I believe he talked about one of the assailants, or one of the victims rather, said something racially out the way to him. I'm not sure. So me personally, like I said, I purposely avoided the media because I didn't want to hear anybody slant. Because you got to understand, whenever things like this happen, everybody has an agenda. And everybody's going to use this situation the best way they can to further their particular agenda. That's just how the world works. And personally, I just want to say that, I'm a peaceful brother, man. Make love, not war. But the fact of the matter is that this country was founded upon was furthered and is maintained again. This country was established was furthered and increased and is maintained upon the platform of violence. In layman's terms, we some violent motherfuckers, y'all. We are an extremely violent society. We make heroes out of those who are the best at perpetrating violence. Anybody that tries to talk about, hey man, let's get together and try loving each other for a change, we kill them. We celebrate violence. The most popular sport in this country is football, when basically two motherfuckers run into each other as fast as they can. Before that, it was boxing. We like violent video games. We like violent movies. And I say we, man. I'm not trying to stand on my self-righteous soapbox. I say we, man. See, because just like you, I've been surrounded by filth my whole life. So of course my fingernails are going to be dirty. So we celebrate violence at every turn. We justify violence at every turn. Yet we fail to see that this is nothing more than the chickens coming home to roost. We perpetrate violence. We were built on violence. We celebrate violence. And then we wonder why people act out with violence. And I say that understanding why this is going to get a lot more media coverage and a lot more media play than the cops shooting down unarmed black people. I understand that. But that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. And we have to look at the bigger picture and understand that at the bottom line is we're just some violent motherfuckers, man. Now, this man clearly had some mental issues, and you're probably not going to hear about that. But we have to start asking ourselves some real serious questions, man. What is it about our culture that gets people to so far gone and feeling so frustrated within themselves that these random acts of violence seem plausible and justifiable? So you build our country on violence, and you cement and protect our legacy on the back of violence, and then you wonder why the people act violently. And see, the smokescreen and the con, they talk a lot about, quote unquote, black on black violence. We've proved how that is a myth on these airwaves. But it's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a male thing. It's not a woman thing. It's a United States of America thing. And you have to understand that when you build your empire on the backs of other people, by enslaving other people, by murdering other people with trickery, treachery, deceit, eventually you're going to have to pay that receipt. And that goes across any religious beliefs that you may have, because every single religious text that you adhere to, be it you reap what you sow, be it karma, Be it what goes around comes around. See, that's universal law. That's universal law. See, you can't do dirt and then expect dirt not to come back on your doorstep. See, that's universal law. And yet we sit here and we are miseducated. We are misinformed. And quite frankly, a lot of you just don't care. A lot of you all just don't care. And you justify it by telling yourself that you're just going to live your life, you're going to take care of your family, and there's nothing you can do about it. But let me tell you something. Simply acting in your own self-interest or preserving your own life at the expense of millions and billions, that makes you a coward. You are a coward. And you say you love God, and you do. I'm not going to doubt that. But yet you refuse to act godly. At every turn, you find an excuse to act ungodly. Even though you love God, perhaps you just love yourself a little bit more, huh? Because you refuse to do God's work. You refuse to look out for those and fight for those that can't look out or fight for themselves. You refuse to look at your fellow brethren with compassion and humanity. That doesn't sound very godly to me. What about you? So you hide behind a series of rules and regulations and customs, also known as religion, because that allows you to feel good about yourself and think that you're doing a bang-up job and that you're a good person. And hell, most of you don't even have the discipline to do that. Most of you don't even have the discipline to do to follow the customs and the rituals and the rules that you claim to hold so near and dear to your heart. Most of you don't have the discipline to do that. And then you wonder why you're in the position that you're in. Because see, the majority of people will not do anything of circumstance or anything worthwhile with their lives because they lack the discipline to do so. And then you sit there with neither a pot nor a window, and you wonder why. But the thing that you claim that you hold the nearest and the dearest to you, The thing that you claim is the most important thing in your life. You say your God or your faith, but really it's your religion. And you don't even have the discipline to adhere to that. So look at yourself and look at how half-assed you do the thing that you claim is the nearest and dearest to you. So then look at that and then take that and look at everything else throughout your life. And you're going to see some whole cold, hard truths that can be very painful. Because see, religion gives you a way out. It gives you a way to claim that you're a good person without having to actually lift a finger and do God's work. See? And most of y'all can't even do that. Most of y'all can't even do that. So what are you going to do? And let me tell you something else. This isn't new. There's nothing new under the sun, okay? The only difference is that we have increased technology now. So it's a lot harder for people to hide their dirt. It's a lot harder to hide your dirt now. That's the only thing that's different. And that is what's driving this thing. And that's what's bringing this thing to a head. Is that the skirt is getting, or the cover rather, is getting pulled off of people. And people are going to take this information in this situation and this incident that happened today. They're going to take it and they're going to spin it for whatever their specific agenda is, because everybody has an agenda. Everybody has an agenda. See, me, that's a blessing. Actually, my little 5 to 10 followers, that's a blessing, because I have no agenda. I have no sponsors. I have no advertisers. I have nobody I have to answer to. So I am free to tell you all the truth. I'm free to tell you the truth about me. I'm free to tell you the truth about you. I'm free to tell you the truth about us. And I'm free to tell you the truth about what's really going on. And see, I make it a little uncomfortable sometimes. Like that fire get a little hot sometimes. I get that. And if you get offended by something I've said here tonight, if I struck an emotional chord with you with something I've said here tonight, well, then you need to take a good, long, hard look at yourself. Be leery of thou who protests too much. And then you sit up here scared. Oh my God, ISIS is gonna come kill us. Who the hell you think gave him the guns, dummy? Oh my God, North Korea, they're hacking us and they're gonna bomb us. Let me tell you something, man. North Korea ain't thinking about you. North Korea just happy to have their damn head above water, man. They ain't thinking about you. Kim Jong want to watch a little basketball? Let that nigga watch a little basketball. Let Dennis Rodman go over there and get a check. Let him watch some damn basketball. When's the last time you paid to watch Dennis Rodman play basketball? Y'all so worried about these external forces and you don't even realize we're going to implode from the inside, man. We're going to tear each other apart. And if somebody does come over here and do something, That doesn't necessarily make them inherently evil. They're striking while their enemy or opponent is weak. That's in the art of war. You strike your opponent or your enemy while they are weak. That's in the art of war. That's just good strategy. Y'all so worried about outside forces coming in here and destroying this freedom that y'all cling to so tough that you really don't have, that y'all can't see what's right in front of your face, baby. Y'all can't see what's right there. We're gonna destroy each other long before some other chump can come over here and do it. All they're gonna be doing is picking the bones. It's like pro wrestling. Yeah, okay, somebody gonna sneak in from the back and hit the nigga with a steel chair. So all they got to do is pin him. The damage has been done. And a lot of people go around and they say, oh my God, what's happening to America? And we're losing our country and the world's going to hell and blase this, blase that. I got news for you. We ain't never been no good. We ain't never been no good. And that includes me. Because just like you, I grew up in filth. I live in filth. I don't even smell it anymore. So yeah, I got dirt underneath my fingernails just like you do. My hands are just as dirty as yours. And we pass that filth on to the next generation and the generations behind us, not even realizing that we're condemning them to our fate. We're supposed to be teaching them better. And we're condemning them to our fate. This is nothing but the chickens coming home to roost, man. And yeah, it's tragic. Anytime somebody loses their life prematurely, it's tragic. You're supposed to die old. Preferably on top of some Peruvian hooker. Just kidding. So yeah, it's tragic. We have more people getting killed in this country than any other country. And we have the audacity to call other countries barbaric and uncivilized. You think because you got 31 flavors of ice cream, you doing something, huh? You think you're doing something, huh? So all this is going to do, all that's going to happen from this is that people are going to dig in. However they feel, whatever soapbox they choose to stand on, they're just going to dig in their heels and they're going to go a little harder. Now, what I'm telling you is don't fall for the okie doke. There's three rules that I adhere to, that I try to live my life by. And it's the basis upon everything else that I tell you. Everything else that I try to show you, it is the basis upon those things. These three rules are the foundation. And that is try to do the next right thing. Always think about the other person. And no matter what, maintain your humanity. Maintain your humanity. Now that last one's very hard. All of them are hard because we tend to be self-absorbed, but we don't tend to be. We are self-absorbed, so they're all hard. But that last one's a tricky one because you may believe you're maintaining your humanity. You may think that you're a good person, but then what do you do when you see that bum on the street? And I'm not saying you got to give every single bum some money, but you scoff at him. You look down at him. Somebody that is in a worse predicament than you look down at them. You judge them. Don't say that you don't. Don't lie. You can't lie to me because I know you. But you lie to yourself every single day. You lie to yourself. It's the worst thing you can do. You lie to God too, but God knows better. You know you're on that bullshit. That's why your prayers don't get answered, because you can't play with the real God. You can't be on that fuck shit when you go into the real God. Yeah, I said fuck shit. You got a problem with it? A lot of people get angry at me sometimes because of the language I use. Well, you fail to realize I studied the art of communications at a degree or at a university of institution of higher learning. Therefore, I don't use words by mistake. So if I say a phrase such as fuck shit, I said it for a reason, because I want it to resonate with you. So today was a tragedy. All these people get killed by the cops are tragedies as well. But you have to understand that every time you flick your channel changer and you turn on that idiot box and you turn on some news or something pertaining to something that's going on in the news, that it's a con. It's a game. And they're telling you certain things for a reason. And they're framing things a certain way for a reason. And you can see that if you wake the fuck up. But you're content to be asleep. You're content to live your lives on autopilot. You're content to be spectators in your own life, which I don't understand. But as long as you go to church on Sunday and you pay your tithes to the pastor so he can get him a new Escalade or what the hell ever, you feel like you doing something. That ain't God's work. But what do I know, right? And see, that's the saddest part of this all. Not for you, but for me. And it makes me question, why the hell do I even do this every week? Because I'm speaking right now from my heart. I'm speaking to you and I want you to feel me, but you won't. Some of you might. I pray that you will, but you won't. You'll think I'm just on here rambling. Or I've already said something that irritated you or that offended you, so you've already tuned me out. And you just watching because you care about me and you want to support me, which I do appreciate. But you ain't hearing me. And everybody's feeling a certain way right now because of what happened. But hell, 2, 3, 5, 10 days, hell, maybe even by tomorrow, you will go back to your status quo until the next thing happens. And then you'll sit up there and have the audacity to complain about this world is going to hell. No, this world has been hell. I know this because I'm a student of history. I study history. And, you know, a funny thing happens when you study history. You start to see patterns. You start to see the same shit over and over and over again. Now, pragmatists will sit up here and tell you that that's just human nature, and ultimately we're just pawns in a chess game and there's nothing that we can do about it. But see, there's something else that I've noticed as well through studying history. And that's called evolution. Now, I'm not talking about that bullshit talking about we came from chimpanzees. I mean, people can evolve. People do evolve. It's inevitable. People can change. People can make a difference. But you got to start right there in your living room. You got to start right there in your car. You got to start right there in your bedroom. You got to start right there wherever you hear my voice. You got to start right there. And say to yourself, I'm going to do better. And hold yourself to that. Hold yourself accountable. You're going to slip. You're going to fall because that's the human in us. But you get your ass right back on that horse and you keep it pushing. See, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was making you think that you have no say in your own life whatsoever. And you probably have your feelings or how you feel about the events of today. I really don't give a damn because I'm not dealing with feelings. You can deal with your feelings on your own time. I'm telling you what it is. And I'm challenging you. What the hell are you going to do about it? And you know, you might come to the conclusion that, you know what, I just want to live my life and be a selfish prick and look out for self. And if that's what you choose to do with yourself, then you go right ahead for it. But I am not, I repeat, I am not going to sit up here and allow you to keep perpetrating a fraud. I call bullshit. I smell it. It's coming through my computer. And I'm not going to allow you to sit up here and do that. And you're my brother, you're my sister, and I love you. So I'm going to call you out. Whether you like me or not. I'm going to call you out. But again, what I'm not going to do is allow you to sit up here and keep perpetrating that fraud. Because enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's time out, man. It's time out for the bullshit. We don't have, as a matter of fact, we don't have time to bullshit anymore. You see what's right in front of you, yet you still choose to look the other way. The hell is wrong with you? The hell is wrong with you? And then have the audacity to sit up here and tell me you love God. Cut the bullshit. Let's have a real conversation tonight. Let's have a grown-up conversation tonight. Let's cut the bullshit. You sit up here and you follow a bunch of rules and regulations and customs given to you by man. Now some of y'all will sit up here and say, well, no, that was the word of God, and God was speaking through them, and they wrote. Cut the bullshit. God didn't teach you how to read and write. That's some man shit. That's some man shit. So let's cut the bullshit out, huh? Am I lying? Tell me I'm lying. And so you loosely follow those regulations and rituals and rules. Loosely, I said. And that lets you off the hook. That lets you off the hook. So it's time out for the games. Either you're going to live right and you're going to walk it how you talk it, or you just going to come out and flat out say, you know what, I'm rolling for dolo. I'm not even going to perpetrate. Anyway, y'all, I've said my piece for the evening. God willing, I'll see you all back here next week. Same plat time, same plat channel. I want you to listen to what I said too. And if you got to listen to the playback, do that. Listen to the playback. Really hear what I'm telling you. God willing, again, we'll see you next week. Shalom.